Hi, I'm Magic Ben, and I have here with me my good friend Ken. Now, Ken, we didn't arrange anything. You don't know. You're my good friend, obviously, but you don't know what you're about to see. We didn't prearrange anything.
Nothing. Yep. I have no idea.
And I am going to teach this trick. So, but now for those of you who just want to experience magic, there'll be a point where you can cut and just end the video. So I call this trick apples and oranges for obvious reasons. Apples and oranges. Okay. Ken, I have here just a normal deck of cards, right?
Okay.
I'll have you give those a shuffle. Very good. Yeah, just give them a cut. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So Ken, now, in English, apples and oranges is used to signify that you're comparing two things that are similar but yet they're different, right? So an apple and orange is they're both spherical, they both have skin, they're both fruit, but yet they're different, right? So like, how would you describe comparing things, apples and oranges in English? What?
Like X-Men and Avengers.
Yeah. So like they're both superhero teams. They both have team members, people that have powers. But yet they're different, obviously. The X-Men are mutants, and the Avengers are the Earth's mightiest heroes, right? So I'm going to have you pick either apple or orange here. Orange, okay. So now I'm going to take this card and have you let's have you write the date and time all over the face of the card.
Okay.
Today is April 19th, 2024, and it's 7:48. Okay. All right. So, and you can see Ken made this card very unique. It's April 19th, 2024, and it's 7:48 p.m. So again, we'll stick it in the deck here. And Ken, I'll have you shuffle the deck again here. Go ahead and shuffle it in. Good cut. Okay, good. All right. So we're gonna perform some magic here, and we're gonna see what was your card again? It was the
Nine of clubs, I believe. The nine of spades.
Nine of spades.
Nine of spades.
Yeah.
Nine of
Nine of
spades.
spades. Okay, here we go.
Well, no, let me see.
It was the nine of spades. Yeah,
But
but it's unique because you wrote the date. And
That's
time,
right,
right?
yeah.
So no. Okay. All right. Watch carefully. Right. All right, it's done. So, do you see it happen?
No.
Okay, so let's take a look. It was the nine of spades, you said, right?
Yes. I don't see it.
I don't see the nine of spades. But you selected an orange, did you not?
Yes.
All right, so let's check out this orange here. So there's nothing in my hands, obviously, so I'm just cutting the orange here. All right. Okay. Okay. What do you see in there?
What the heck?
All right,
You want me to take it?
Yeah, take it, yeah. All right, check it out. Check it out.
What the heck?
Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that
Great
cool?
job, Ben.
All right, is that cool?
Wow.
All right, so I'm Magic Ben, and this is Apples and Oranges. Smells like an orangey card, right?
That's crazy.
All right. So I'm gonna. So like again, I'm gonna teach this trick for those of you who want to learn how to learn this trick. Do you like that? Was that an
That was
interesting-
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So and this is actually a classic of magic. But again, my channel isn't devoted to like teaching magic. There's plenty of channels out there who are dedicated to like pay me whatever, and they can learn my course and blah blah blah. So I'm more about just doing magic and performing, and you gotta get that. That's a great. That's what I live for. The sense of awe and wonder. I love. That's why I love performing magic. Okay, so now an orange did give its life for this trick, and we'll have to have another orange give its life for me to teach it. But and I will say there's lots of ways you can do this trick. I'm going to show you a simpler way, one of the sort of simpler ways to do this trick, so that you can do it. And it is obviously when you cut the orange open, like it's really a magical moment. Like how did this card get in the orange, right? That's really
Exactly.
astoundingly amazing.
Exactly. And could you have done the same thing with the apple?
Yeah.
Like if I'd chosen the apple.
Yeah, I could have done the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
and if you do this exact thing, like calling it apples and oranges, you can let somebody pick apples orange, yeah, you can do it with either kind of fruit. Now there are lots. This is just a little snack apple, but there are lots of bigger. There's lots of different kinds of apples. You can use a bigger apple, and maybe it's a little easier.
Wow.
But okay, so give me a sec here. I'll get another orange. Okay, so now the trick starts with maybe I don't have to destroy another orange actually. The trick starts with basically you have to prepare the orange, obviously. So you have to cut a little hole in the orange. Okay. So now I threw away the little sort of lid, but you could also do this trick with the lid. So basically you just kind of cut a little hole around the bottom of the orange. And if you're very careful about the cut, you basically just cut around the orange like this, and you'll create kind of a little cap, okay? And it actually fits quite well on the orange. Like you can't really even visually see it but for the ease of doing the trick, I kind of threw away the cap. But if you really wanted to, you could kind of palm you could palm the cap away and during the trick. I've even seen some magicians they'll use a little bit of glue on the lid, so you could actually completely have the person show the handle the orange, and they wouldn't even see the lid, right? It looks like, so for me, I wanted to do it a little simpler, and this is obviously the simpler way. You just throw away the cap, so that's why I wanted to teach the simpler way. So it doesn't have the cap, but however that means you have to manage the orange. I don't know, you didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
No.
So so you have to manage the orange a little bit, meaning that you can't, you have to hold it, and if you do it right, like you can flash most of the orange, right? Like you can flash a good chunk of the orange. So to continue to prepare the orange is really easy. Just take a knife, and you just want to stick the knife in, and then just kind of swirl it around. Okay, so you'll create a cavity that's large enough for the card. Now, what I did was I also took like the back of a spoon, and you do this a few times because it'll be the orange pulp juice. It'll be wet, right? So you have to like do it a few times, and as you swirl the knife around a little bit and twirl it around in a little circle, take it out and dry it off, and do that like about 5 or 6 times. What you'll end up with in the end is essentially this kind of cavity that you can see my whole finger fits in there, right? So that's easily large enough for a card. Now, the reason why you have to have like a cavity sort of large enough is that the act of putting the card in the orange has to be very quick.
Oh my god!
For the person not to see, right?
Yeah.
So it has to, and depending on if you're doing it for a surrounded audience or whatever, like you might change the method of how you get the card in the orange. But in most cases, you'll have just a couple seconds basically to get, so that nobody sees. It has to be pretty, like you didn't see.
No, I was shuffling, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't see the card in the orange. So, and actually, that's part of it too. That's in magic circles. It's called audience management. So I knew you were shuffling the cards, and your attention was on the cards, and that was the couple seconds that I put the cards in the card in the orange. But if you're surrounded, like you can, you would have to palm the card out, which is what I did. And there's a number of different ways to there's lots of different ways to palm a card off and control it into your hand. And one of the more famous ones is called a Mercury fold. That's where basically the card is on the bottom of the deck. My hands are now a little like sticky and messy, so I won't use the deck to show you. But basically, the deck is on top and the card is on the bottom. And a Mercury fold is your finger kind of pushes back on the card, and then you're gonna fold the card in half underneath the cover of the deck. So what ends up happening is the card is quartered, and it gets palmed. Basically, as I'm giving you the deck, so if your finger pushes the card down, and then it's able to easily palm, like you only have sort of half or a quarter of a card, I did something a little different, but more or less the same idea. Where basically, when I gave you the deck, I controlled the card to the bottom of the deck, and then I palmed it into my hand, and then as I gave you the deck, I already had it in my hand. Okay, so at that point, the attention is on the deck, which people are which are shuffling, and then at that point, I actually I rolled it up like this. It came out like this in my palm, and there's lots of ways you can just sort of crumple it up. You just you see like a really simple action is you just sort of crumple up into. Now, if it's in a column. The problem is it'll stick out a little bit. Now that's okay too. That's actually okay too, because if you look at the width of the card, like the card is most of the height of the orange. I folded it in half just to make sure that just in case nothing was splashing. So if you fold it like this, it'll fit completely in the orange.
I was gonna say, how do you know you're not gonna cut the card when you're cutting with the knife?
That's an excellent question. So the cutting of the card is really important as well, of course, and the same principle works with whether with an apple. Again, you can take a normal knife. There are sort of core devices that are circular, and you can might be easier, or you can take like a file or a screwdriver, and that'll help you create the right kind of cavity. But the same principle applies. Maybe it's a little harder with an apple than an orange, because an orange has that sort of soft pulp.
Yeah.
And now the way you cut the orange is when you cut the orange, you want to just cut the skin in a circular motion all the way around the equator of the orange, right? And you can actually feel. When you're hitting the card, actually. So when I was cutting, I could feel when I was going to hit the card.
Really?
So it'll be a hard, the knife will stop. Now, if you cut obviously very aggressively, you will cut the card in half. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. Obviously, that's an excellent question. But actually, if you look, when you're cutting, you'll feel a lot of resistance on the skin of the orange. So you basically just want to constantly cut and turn, cut and turn, cut and turn. But it will help to be able to cut. In order for it to separate nicely, if you just cut the skin and like the pulp will still be together, you'll have to pull, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't want to do that either. You do want to cut, like I cut enough to the card so that it was quite easy to separate the two halves. So that takes just a little bit of practice, I think. And that's very tactile, but if you're a magician, you're good at tactile type stuff. So you wanna first cut, and probably do like sort of 2 revolutions, right? The first revolution is just getting past the rind, the outer skin. And then the next one you want to cut a little slower, and that's where you're getting through the pulp, and you'll feel the card, and then it'll separate quite nicely. Now you'll notice when I did it, one early thought, one thought that people have in their mind is, oh, he's got it like in his hand, and I'll insert it right as he's cutting it, right? So that's why I like through that, you show your hand is empty, and as I was cutting it, you could see my hand. There was like nothing, literally nothing in my hand.
Right.
Because at that point, the card was already in the orange. There's nothing I had to hide or anything. So I wanted to be very clear that I wasn't inserting the cards during the cut or anything. So and it makes it feel more magical.
That's so great.
So yeah, and then that magical moment, you let them unfold and unfurl the card, and they can see that it's their card that was signed and dated.
It's amazing.
So, all right, thank you. I'm Magic Ben, and be sure to check out some of my other Magic performance videos, and have a good day. Great.